Okay, so this next FAQ question is a really great one that I get from owners all the time, which is basically, my dog does all of the bad behaviors in my neighborhood, in my home, with me and my husband, with my kids. Why would I send them to you to do a board and train when all the issues are at home with me? So,
That is a really, really good question. So, and it makes a lot of sense, right? So, I could absolutely see why people would be concerned about that not transferring, right? But here's the deal. So, we get oodles of dogs that come in with all sorts of very environmentally specific, behavior problems. So whether it's stuff like happening at your front door, happening around your kids, happening in your neighborhood, or that really particularly snotty dog down the street that your dog like explodes around, that's the story that we get all the time. But the dogs come in, the dogs go through the program, and the dogs go home, and all this stuff transfers really nicely. How come and why? Why does it transfer? Because we're not just teaching obedience commands, we're actually changing state of mind, we're changing attitude. We've cultivated a kind of comprehensive fundamental approach that changes the psychology of the dog in a really positive sense and puts him in a really good zone that you can take those shifts and those changes up here and you can put them just about anywhere and get good stuff out of your dog. So that doesn't mean that you won't have to go and do work in your own neighborhood and do work in your own house and make sure it all transfers. You will have to do that work, but what you won't find is that the dog is great here, but the dog is not great in other environments or in your home. It means that you could have a situation where your front door gets your dog goosed a little more than our front door does. But I guarantee you, our front door will still get him goosed. And I guarantee you, the barky dog down our street will still get him, upset. So we'll still be able to address all that stuff, and then any residual stuff you'll knock out at home. And our clients over and over and over again have found it to be very transferable and work very nicely.
yeah, because it's not the man that lives down the street with the black shoes. It's not your aunt's dog. It's not your actual, he was only aggressive in my kitchen. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's what's happening upstairs for your dog. So what we do at The Good Dog here is we work so much on state of mind training. We're not just gonna okay, he's bad with the UPS men, let's bring the UPS men in and just correct him. No,
It's all symptoms.
Yeah, those are all just symptoms, just like us when we have stuff go on in our lives. We may, act a certain way to a coworker or our spouse or something like that, but it's not the coworker, it's not the spouse or whatever situation it is. It's what's going on upstairs, what stress you might be dealing with, what anxiety, whatever might be going on in your life causing you to act a certain way.
Yeah.
So the dog is the same way. All these little tiny scenarios that people come to us with a laundry list of issues of how many things, like what color and this and where it is and all that. Of course, there's going to be specific stuff to your neighborhood and your house, and we're going to work you through all those things. We're not just going to leave you to do that on your own. But the reality is 95% of the things are all state of mind issues. The dog comes here, we work on the program, the dog gets a more calm state of mind where he can access better choices, he has better respect, more impulse control, and then he gets in those situations, he's like, I don't care about the UPS guy. I don't care about this. I'm not aggressive towards you guys anymore because all that stuff, I just feel better. I feel more in control. My humans got me. I don't have to take care of things anymore.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff, just on the back of what she's saying, is that a lot of that stuff is just patterns and habits.
Yep.
So breaking those patterns and habits and putting new patterns and habits in place really help your dog take those new skill sets and go into any environment and share that new, better brain with whatever environment they're in. And like Laura said, stress and anxiety are almost always at the root of any of these behavioral issues. So and oftentimes owners don't know how to remove that, but we absolutely are specialists in removing stress and anxiety. So when you get rid of that stuff, that's when you find the real dog underneath, and you'll find that dog can cope with things that he couldn't cope with before in a much more positive fashion once you get rid of those issues.